Hello everyone, my name is Deckerlink, the trained unprofessional, and welcome back to Adastra. It's been a while. I had a pretty shit fucking week. Really bad week, but fortunately, it's this week now, and haven't decided on whether or not this one's good or not, so we'll see. I'm trying to play Adastra, but when I first booted it up, I got one of those error messages. And I remember seeing on Patreon, I don't remember which game, but one of them told me that I would need to start a new save file. Methinks there was some fuckiness happening there. Which sucks because there's a lot of game. Oh fuck, what was our name? William. We're William. This game is a lot longer when you have to sit through it and not experience it. Going through this with the skip on and going through it like this, it's really highlighting to me how little there is in this game in terms of choices. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, mind. It just makes it different. It certainly isn't the multi-choice narrative splintering effect. It really is a visual novel where you don't really have a... Oh, God. This is the line that the last episode left off on, so let's see what's next. Everything seems to come together all at once for Amicus. All this talk of Drusus, of his and William's apparently fixed destinies, and that decision that wolves fawned over for generations... no matter what opinion they held about Drusus himself. The choice offered by the parents to either save his empire or save his lover. Icy, cold fear and dread blooms in the pit of Amicus' stomach and slowly spreads throughout the rest of his body, seeming to leak like a frigid liquid down his groin and into his legs. That's fucking gross. The wolf feels his limbs tremble as he pulls the human closer to his chest, lips drawing back as instinct kicks in to protect his mate. For a long while, a length of time that's hard to discern, the wolf simply stares into the abyss. He looks up into the swirling stars, clouds, and planets, trying to see these things that are controlling and manipulating him and his lover. Trembling, Amicus shakes his head, taking another step back, away, even though the presence of the parents is all-encompassing. No. Amicus' jaw clenches, hating himself for sounding so weak and afraid. Remembering who he is, the wolf squares his shoulders, glaring up into space.
No! I won't make such a decision!
For once, the unseen place in which the parents reside is silent, but clearly observant. Amicus can feel the prickle of their all-seeing eyes on the nape of his neck.
You hear me? I won't do it! I'll stay here forever if I have to. You can't involve us in such foolishness.
William suddenly shifts in his grasp, his head turning awkwardly, leaning up in a strange way that seems unnatural, as if pulled up by strings. Amicus flinches back, feeling a chill run up his spine as he tries to stop himself from dropping the human he knows so well. Foolishness? William stares at him with an expression that Amicus has never seen him make before. It's cold and almost dismissive, an expression Amicus has never seen him make before. That was redundant. How does this situation, in which the lives of 1 trillion sapiens teeter on the brink of annihilation, call for such childish statements? Tell us, in what universe would attempts to avoid such a catastrophic outcome be considered foolishness? The human suddenly tilts his head in an unnatural way, leaning in closer to the wolf, and Amicus gasps, setting a large paw against William's face, trying to stop the strange, inhuman movements.
Stop that! Don't hurt him!
The human holds the position for a moment, then seems to slowly relax back into the wolf's arms. Amicus feels his heart pounding in his chest. He He'd provoked, not even anger from the parents, maybe just annoyance, yet the experience had been terrifying. Seeing William twist and contort in such a way was unnerving, sure, but the parents had meant to do it, and the wolf is beginning to realize why they're using William as a puppet. Anger and fear battle for control over the wolf before the latter finally wins out, remembering what type of decision he might have to make.
Please, there must be another way. I can't choose between these two things.
There's a pause in the air, and Amicus feels his knees about to give out, preparing to throw himself at the imaginary feet of these monolithic beings. He'd beg until the end of time, wolven pride be damned. What decision do you speak of? Amicus glances up and down at the star, up again at the stars.
The decision presented to Drusus. The one decided for him by Mira 10 millennia ago.
Amicus frowns, knowing that the parents already know what he's talking about, becoming further distressed that they're making him vocalize things that are so obvious. Oh, Amicus. Don't you know the proclivity of your own people to twist and distort, to aggrandize and romanticize the truth? Amicus is quiet, waiting, heart still hammering, simply feeling numb at this point. Do not rely on woven myth to inform you of parental intention. Only we will speak the truth to you. Amicus lets out a little growl, anger overcoming fear again.
Then what is it? Why torment me like this?
Several moments of silence pass, and Amicus growls again, frustrated at the way he's been being treated. How his emotions are being manipulated and sculpted like a mound of clay. This isn't what he'd been taught at all. Had his father known the parents to be like this? His grandfather? Amicus wishes that he'd been warned somehow. As the silence drags on, the wolf tries to deaden his emotions, to not give these entities any sort of hint as to what he might be feeling, wanting to refuse this blatant attack on his own agency, despite how futile he knows that must be. You can bring back your lover. At this very moment, time stands nearly still on your plane. William's body and mind are still salvageable. Amicus's heart feels as though it might leap from his mouth, his hold on William tightening. How? But only if you submit yourself to the benevolent will of the parents. Will you? Amicus furrows his brow in confusion, unsure of what this all could mean.
But I've already done so. Ever since I was a pup, we'd been told to...
After this experience, your mind will waver. You're unsure as to what our intentions truly are. There will be moments in which you will want to question, to doubt our will. You must overcome such moments. Our will is what is best for the Galaxius and the universe as a whole. Amicus stares for a moment.
And if I don't agree?
Then we shall let the human pass on as he naturally should, and we shall wait for a future emperor to take your place. Amicus shakes his head, not wanting to believe this is true, that this is the way that the leaders of the Galaxius function. It must be done. The wolf is quiet, for once wishing that he isn't in such a position, wishing that he could hide away in the quiet countryside with his human to live a normal life. That is not your calling. It never was.
I know.
Amicus whispers more to himself than the parents. There's a long moment of silence in which Amicus simply stares into space, contemplating what it means to give up any true freedom, to submit himself to the absolute authority of the galaxy. Will you submit? Amicus takes a deep breath.
Will my decision affect William's free will? You said you have plans for him as well.
He will be allowed to make his own decision. We will tell you of his mission once you make your decision. Amicus stifles another growl, hating that his human is being forced into this as well. Will you submit? Amicus closes his eyes, feeling his anger and resilience slowly drain away. And then he opens them.
I submit.
Damn. There he is! There's our happy boy. Look at our happy, cross-eyed boy. He looks kinda stupid right now. What the fuck is going on his chin? Does he have a pimple? That looks like a pimple of some kind. Boy, you need to pop that shit. That's gross. Blue light swirls in front of my eyes in intricate spiraling tendrils. It's beautiful, and as I begin to focus, I see a blurry gray shape in the middle of it all. Even before I'm fully able to see him, I know it's my wolf. I smile and reach up, cupping at the warm, furry form. At some point along this journey, I've stopped caring about whether the things I see are real or not. I'm just happy that I'm seeing him. He smiles down at me with that dumb, cross-eyed, doofy grin of his. Why does it look like his head is going in one direction and his face is going in another? Hey! Fucking...
Hey.
Hey. I lie quietly in his arms for a while, just enjoying the comforting blue glow. I'm reminded of when I first met Amicus, when our ship stalled out in the blue dust cloud, when he'd finally revealed to me his botched plan. That feels so distant now, like it was years ago, rather than just months. I take a deep breath, and something about it feels strange. Almost like something mechanical is moving in my neck. I reach up, touching my fingers to my throat, and for a moment they brush against something that feels like a thin line of flesh. But Amicus reaches down to move my hand away, pressing it to my chest instead.
You're alright. You're going to be fine now.
What? That's when I also realized that my voice sounds strange. It still sounds like me, but there's something slightly off about it. Like it's a little higher, and maybe a little robotic. Another excuse to do the calm voice. Hi, Amicus! No, I'm kidding. I won't do that. I won't put you through that mess. I frown. Amicus presses against my chest firmly, comfortingly.
It's okay. I know it might feel a bit strange, but you won't even notice it after a few days.
What is he talking about? Again, I lay quietly in his arms and gather my thoughts. The fight, the dagger, the darkness, the parents. Then I look up at Amicus in question. What happened? I try to ignore the strange, soundless, mechanical clicking feeling in my throat, while also trying to get used to my voice. It's like hearing myself in a recording, just not quite right. Amicus chuckles, sounding exhausted, relieved, and maybe even a little sad at the same time.
Quite a bit happened, William.
But the parents, I thought they wanted us to meet them? Amicus's gentle smile wavers for a moment.
Well, they did. I met them.
What? I don't remember. I rack my memory, but nothing comes to mind.
You lost consciousness when it happened.
I frown at that, wondering why that would happen, but Amicus does not offer an explanation. I look down at my chest, and instead of the coating of blood I expected to see, I'm clean and bare. aside from a few small, wet spots on my chest. I suppose Amicus had been a bit more emotional before I'd woken up. I look back at him, then press my face against his body, and he responds by hugging me close to his chest for a moment. So, it's over? They decided to bring me back? My voice is muffled against his fur. My strange, not quite right voice. Amicus loosens his hold on me, allowing me to look back up at his face.
Yes, it's over.
The tension that I'd held in my chest ever since I arrived, ever since being abducted from my bedroom in Italy, it all releases slowly. For once, I feel light and free, and I sag in the wolf's arms, sighing deeply. Even now, I'm starting to get used to the new feelings in my throat. I love you. I love you too. I smile up at him, and despite everything being over, I can't help but notice that he seems a bit sad too. I press a hand against his chest. You alright? Amicus laughs loudly, shaking my entire body. Aside from nearly losing everything I hold dear, I suppose I'm alright, yes. I try to sit up, but Amicus keeps me reclined, gently but firmly. You sure? You seem upset. The big wolf sighs deeply, and I feel his torso puff out against my side and shoulder.
There are things I must tell you, but later. It's not important right now.
The tension that had been so mercifully loosened in my chest suddenly appears again, albeit in a much smaller way. I want to ask more, but for now, I just want to rest. Well, as long as I'm not gonna pass out and wake up completely confused again, I feel like that's all I've been doing the past month. Amicus huffs in amusement. Yes, you do have a knack for such things. We go quiet again, and it's a nice kind of quiet. We're both just basking in the peaceful aftermath of our months-long struggle. After a while, though, my wolf meets my eyes again. William? Yes, Amicus?
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
For everything. For taking you from your planet. For involving you in Adastran politics. For acting as if I knew better. Even if it was part of the parents' plan, it doesn't make it right. And I'm sorry.
Plan? Amicus lets out a small, tired laugh, shaking his head.
Again, I'll tell you later.
Let's just be together for now. I nod in agreement, ignoring the clicks in my neck, clinging to my wolf, happy to be in this quiet little corner of the universe, undisturbed by politics, mad emperors, or monolithic space entities. Ah, the porch. The following days are strange.